What's up all you nerdy dudes and dudettes, Toyshiz here, and we have the one and only weekly recoup that only Toyshiz can bring you, and we have had quite an interesting week just in terms of just overall different products. It's not all been about, Star Wars or Marvel, and I'm kind of happy with that. It's kind of been a refreshing breath of air. I don't think I said that right, but it's okay. No, in all seriousness, it was just one of those things where I'm kind of liking the fact that different toy companies are having a chance, and they're actually producing really great things, and it's very exciting. Like, overall, wouldn't everyone, I would think everyone would agree that just if it's Hasbro or Mattel or Neca or McFarlane Toys, Jada, these are just some of the top, like Hot Toys, of course, and also Mezco. Man, they are just killing it. There's so much good stuff, and it's making it so difficult because you want to collect everything, and you just want it all right now. There's so much stuff coming up this year. It's insane. So let's get to it, and let's start the weekly recoup. All right, so first and foremost, I just wanted to say congratulations again to my Instagram winner of my Toyshiz Rex May 4th giveaway contest at slippin_around. As you well know, you already received the figure, but thank you again, very much, and especially everyone who entered the contest. I very much appreciate the fact that you guys continue to tune into my channel and to just overall, I guess, like what I'm doing. So I always try to do cool stuff, and I know that Rex has just been a pain to kind of find, and I was lucky enough to come across 2 of them. So I just thought, well, you know what? Let's give someone else a chance to kind of get one of these figures, and I think it's an excellent figure, and I'm actually really stoked that they re-released this as opposed to the HasCon exclusive. Yes, he does come with less guns and stuff like that, but he's got that new sweet face printing technology, so he is a winner all around. And to be quite honest, if you haven't found him yet, just keep checking Target, because a lot of the solo figures that were put out on whatever you want to call that, the half Force Friday 4, technically that's what it would be, or the Wookiee Wednesday or Wookiee Weekend, whatever it was. Yeah, he is starting to hit again, so just just check your brick seeks and check Target, because I feel like there is an entire shipment of these things also, with the Ray and the DJ, because I didn't find them up until about 2.5 weeks ago. So just keep checking, and I'm sure that you can probably locate one. And then in moving on to other news, see, this is what I'm talking about with just different companies that I usually don't collect from, just because they're either odd end or they make stuff that it's just not really my field of expertise or anything I'm interested in. But Matchbox came out with like a Jurassic World Legacy collection, which is amazing, and they scale perfectly with the Mattel Jurassic Park figures that are also Target exclusive. So the Jeep is a Target exclusive, if I didn't make that clear. But it's an amazing Jeep. It's like old-fashioned stuff. The figures actually fit in the car, and it looks fantastic. It's not undersized like the Millennium Falcon from previous movies and stuff like that, where they occupy most of the space and it looks weird. It's a perfect Jeep. It's a perfect vehicle, and you can fit 4 3 3/4 inch figures just magnificently inside the Jeep. I have to say that for $13, it's a car. It doesn't have any the doors don't open or anything like that, but it has a moving winch, to reenact, I guess, Dennis Nedry's scene with the Dilophosaurus, if you want. So I just think that's a nice touch. Hopefully we do get a Nedry figure. I'm hoping for a Gennaro figure, because I also picked up a Tyrannosaurus, but we'll talk about that in just a minute. But just Matchbox, Mattel, you're doing it right. Keep coming out with these Jurassic Park figures. They're so much fun. They're so cool. And you know what? I'm just throwing it out there, Mattel, and I was talking with somebody earlier about this. You want to do 6-inch Jurassic Park figures, like Black Series or Marvel Legends style? Go right ahead, because I will be a customer in a heartbeat. Let me know, though. Would you want to buy 6-inch Jurassic Park figures? I know I would. Let me know what your thoughts are. I would love to have an Ian Malcolm. You gotta have one, with the shirt open. I'd love to have a Dr. Grant, Ellie Sadler, Robert Muldoon, Gennaro. Maybe he can have a weird feature where you can kind of pull him apart. You could say, I think this was Gennaro. I think this was too. Anyways, we're getting kind of dark here. Anyways, let's move on. And then, of course, next up, I did a little video talking about the Jada Toys Ecto 1 that was found early this week. And it's really, I haven't found it yet in stores. I've been looking everywhere, but I just don't think it's necessarily hit like the San Diego area. A couple of the Targets and Walmarts that I've been to, they have either the two, it's basically the Batman or the Fast and the Furious ones. So no, I haven't seen the Ghostbusters one yet, and I very much appreciate everyone that's kind of written in and said, oh, you know, I can grab you one and blah blah blah. And because a few of you live kind of far from me and stuff like that, so I very much appreciate that. But I will keep you posted if I cannot locate one. But I'm very much hoping that I can find one soon. But if you have found one, leave me a comment below. Let me know how you like it. I know a lot of you have already written in, and honestly, being that it's a Ghostbusters car for $20, die-cast, plastic, all that stuff, man, I can't wait to find this thing. And then moving on, just for fun, I was kind of having some people have been talking to me like, oh, how come you don't do photos stuff? And I honestly, as much as I work in, my job and marketing and all that kind of stuff, and I take photos all the time. But when it comes to action figures, unless it's more of like a humorous thing, kind of what I did here with, the Jurassic Park Jeep, and then of course the Transformers movie Grimlock, it matched up well. It's actually like not a bad size, for each one, but I just thought, dang, that's I'm going to be honest with you. I was never a fan of any of the Michael Bay Transformers movies, except for the first one. The first one it's good. It's not bad, but it's good. And as the movies just kind of progressed and everything, they were just blah. But when this Grimlock, and Grimlock is one of my favorite Transformers from the G1, so when people were writing in and saying, oh, hey, you should probably pick this figure up, you might like it, and I love it. I like this figure a lot. I don't keep him in robot mode or anything, and that's like, I know Grimlock is the one Transformer I think that should stay in dinosaur mode. He's got just great personality until, unlike an unveiling, he turns into this massive robot, but he looks good in dinosaur mode, and I really like the way that this Grimlock looks in dinosaur mode. So, and he's so metallic, and the paint job is great, and he just looks like a vicious mechanical thing, and I highly recommend you guys picking one up. He's kind of difficult to transform, and he doesn't look good in every angle, which is kind of, I think, some of the cases with most Transformers these days. But he does enough to where, you can get a picture like this. I like to call it like he's full of holes, in certain angles, like you can see right through him and such. It's not a bad design. It's just you have to work with what you can do. These things are giant, massive, jagged parts of things, and that if you can make it look like something, if you can make it actually look like Grimlock, well, that's just design right there, and how much I love that. So, like I said, just in talking about this, if you guys have the ability and find one in stores, I highly recommend you pick one up. Now, moving on, and again, we're not going to get into Toys R Us. I really try to keep Toys R Us at a minimum, and really just am reporting on things that they just don't get it, man. They continue to kind of push and just prod, and it's terrible, and it's really, really sad, in the end of it, of how Toys R Us is going to go out. But when you have a video commercial like this, 30 to 50% off store-wide. Okay, we all know that it was initially 10. Their advertising is 30 to get people in. That's a, classic marketing gimmick, all right? And then, in the asterisk at the bottom, it says, doesn't apply to everything, yada, yada. We know that. And we, as collectors, we go in there all the time. We're searching for stuff. We want to find good deals. But there are no really good deals to be found because they don't really have any new product. Yes, here and there, they've come out with some Marvel Legends and a few, other things that, a little bit expensive. Like, I would love to get one of those Captain America shields that I've been seeing. But I'm not going to pay $350. That's a little crazy, especially for being, almost a 2-year-old product? Yeah, I'm just saying. But when you have a commercial like this, it's exactly what, when I do videos for clients and stuff, I try to avoid, because it's the worst of the worst. You have these people that are being interviewed, and they're having so much fun, and they're all the good deals, and my favorite, do your Christmas shopping now. Like, that's, oh God. Anyways, that's such a line. It's just, it's sad, and it's just the worst thing I feel to do. It's kind of like an end cap to everything that's been happening. And it's not a good thing because we know there's not a lot of good deals. There's not really a lot of stuff left on the shelves. And if there is, how old is it? It's a bunch of Zuvios, or it's a bunch of Legos. It's a bunch of stuff that nobody ever really bought in the first place. So it's a major bummer. Again, I'm sorry to see Toys R Us go out like that. You know, my thoughts and feelings go out towards all the workers and stuff that put so much time and energy in. And you know what? Say what you want. You know, oh, they didn't help. Oh, they didn't look. Blah, blah, blah. They're workers. They have a job. They're working their butts off. Don't do them like that. That's not cool. So moving on from this, but I'm ready to just let Toys R Us just go because I have no reason to go into another Toys R Us ever again, and it's a total bummer. And, you know, like, in a couple years, we'll all look back and say, you know what, Toys R Us was great, KB Toys was great, but they're not coming back. That age of shopping is gone. And it's a major bummer as a collector, as, you know, as a kid growing up there and going in all the time. It was like a treat to go to Toys R Us. So it sucks. It's the worst thing ever, but, you know, we'll always have the good memories. So with that being said, and I hope I didn't bum everybody out if you're listening to me in the car and everything else like that, but let's move on. And in continuing on, the Mattel and Matchbox, you know, Jurassic World. I keep saying Jurassic Park, but we have to kind of accept that Jurassic Park, you know, it's a little gone. Of course, it'll always be Jurassic Park, but now we're in the age of Jurassic World, specifically the new movie coming out, which is, The Fallen Kingdom. And I'm going to go see it regardless. I don't know necessarily the trailers are doing it justice. I feel like it's kind of like an all-over kind of thing. Kind of reminds me of The Lost World in a way, which is kind of like how, you know, Jurassic World kind of played out. It was just like a rehash. I shouldn't say it. It's not a rehash, but it's like a redo of the first Jurassic Park. And this one kind of looks to be like a redo of the Lost World, being that they got, you know, animals coming into suburbia and all that kind of stuff. So I really, really hope it doesn't go south, because I do enjoy seeing, you know, Jurassic Park in a park sense. So I'm having my reservations, but I got good feelings. I think it's gonna be fun regardless. Just like Jurassic World was. If you don't think about it too much, it's a fun popcorn flick. But you have Mattel coming out later in the year. We're going to get an Ian Malcolm figure. Now, he is on the back of the Jeep box, which is great. But it's the best part about this figure is that he comes with a flare. And because, like I said just earlier, I got the Tyrannosaurus, what do you think I'm going to do? God dang. And now all we need is a porta potty with Gennaro. And, oh, man, this is shaping up to be, like, a great year for Jurassic Park figures. Major, you know, nostalgic things with Kenner and all that good stuff. So good things overall. He is packaged again with another one of those compies. I think they're getting their money's worth with those little green dinosaurs. But you know what? Hey, he's got the flair. That makes all the difference. Make an open shirt. Maybe bust it up a little bit, you know, version of him, like as a as a variant. I don't know why I'm laughing about that. So I can stick him in the back of my Jurassic Park Jeep with Muldoon and Dern. I should say Dern. Was it Ellie Sadler at the wheel, and then you can have the giant Tyrannosaurus Rex. You know, must go faster. Anyways, I'm rambling on now. Ian Malcolm, he'll be out later in the year. And then really quick, Mezco did a nice video kind of teasing something that they're going to be releasing the next day with the actor Michael Nathanson. He plays in the Netflix Punisher series, which is, you know what, let me know what you guys think about that. I was a little bit torn. As much as I was looking forward to the Punisher, I felt like they did the Punisher perfectly in the first couple episodes of the second Daredevil season. That's what I was kind of hoping for. I got a little, not to say bored, it was just got a little sidelined with some of the way that they went and took the character. I would really like to, you know, see him hopefully in the second season just going up against mob bosses and what's his name, Billy, Jigsaw. I forget his last name, but yeah, Jigsaw. I want more from the Netflix series, and right now Jessica Jones and I feel Daredevil are killing it. I'm looking forward to Luke Cage, Iron Fist. I hope that gets better. Just saying. That was a little rough to get through, and I don't like knocking shows and everything, but people are knocking the Inhumans, and the Inhumans was actually a lot more fun than Iron Fist was. So, anyways, back to Mezco. So they did a little tease, and they ended up releasing the next day that they're going to do a Mezco Netflix Punisher, and he looks just like John Barenthal. It looks like a fantastic figure, lots of accessories, everything that you can that you know with Mezco, and they're known for stands. Man, they are just killing it. I love my Spider-Man. I think I'm gonna get the Dark Side. I haven't pulled the trigger yet just because of the price, and I got some. Everyone's got bills, But yeah, it's kind of hard. I mean, I'm gonna have to either pull the trigger fast or something because I know they're gonna sell out. But what did you think? Did you see the release and the teaser images of the Mezco Punisher? Let me know. Would you be grabbing that figure? Comment below. Let's talk about it. And then moving on from that, the Padres were nice enough, being that I guess I'm doing something right. And also being a San Diego local, they invited me to their Comic Con night that they were doing at Padres Petco Stadium. So actually I went. It was a lot of fun. Now, if we're being honest, and while I do appreciate the fact that they invited me to the game, I honestly have never been to Petco Park. So it was nice to kind of go in there and see all the great things. But they were promoting it as Comic Con night. But unfortunately, not a lot of people took advantage of that, and it kind of, I think it was because it may have been a Wednesday night or something like that, just people weren't really having it. Not a lot of people dressed up. The only thing that I saw was a guy in a full-on Chewbacca costume, which was really cool, well done. But as far as people dressing up or really kind of having fun, I know that they had promoted that they were going to do maybe like a cosplay or a costume contest before the game started. I don't think a lot of people took advantage of that, unfortunately, but hopefully, I know they're going to be, doing more of these. I think it's probably just a little bit too early, as far as getting excited for Comic-Con. I know we only have 2 months, but it was, like I said, it was a Wednesday night, and it was against the Washington Nationals and stuff like that. That's coming from someone who knows, not that much about baseball. I have my favorite teams and such like that. But that's just the overall reaction that I got from people when I was talking to them at the game. And they were giving out these really cool Comic-Con hats. They're like really awesome. They got the Kirby crackle, the dots, and well, it's kind of sort of. It's kind of like a play on that. But yeah, it was a really nice Comic-Con hat. It was for the first 1,000 people who purchased a Comic-Con ticket. So if you were there, let me know what you think of the game. It was actually a pretty good game. It was over and done with kind of fast, to be quite honest with you. But I had fun. And again, Padres, thank you very much for having me. Now, moving back into action figure news. So honestly, this came out of completely nowhere. I think it took everyone by surprise. And thank you, Josh Pence _Hunts. Go follow him on Instagram. He's a great dude. He alerted me to the fact that this Stormtrooper is coming out for the Star Wars The Black series. And it's kind of like a little bit, I would say like a deluxe. Like back in the day, if you collected 3 3/4 inch figures, they used to do all the time that there would be a deluxe figure. It would be the figure, and then sometimes they did like a Hoth version, like it would come with like a satellite dish, or I remember the Snow Troopers used to come with a big Gatling gun. Something that would, pertain to the characters. It was just a little bit bigger packaging, and this is what it totally reminds me of. So you're getting just a repainted Stormtrooper. He's got a giant blast, and as I'll talk about in a second, that is one dead Stormtrooper if he got hit right there in the chest, because as we all know, they go down, baby. Anyways, he comes with the blast effects. So this is kind of weird. It's the blast effects that came with the Luke Skywalker centerpiece, the one where he's on the Hoth gear. And then he comes with like a fire blast that attaches to his rifle, but that, and I'm being honest, it doesn't make any sense because Stormtroopers, as we all know, fire laser rifles, right? It's like a red beam. So why would he be firing fire, essentially? It's kind of weird. It doesn't make any sense. And I'm honestly, I'm nitpicking this one because that's a missed opportunity. It's like, wait, what? Like, why didn't you just make what Star Wars does? So now, if they do and they fix it, that means we have to buy another one? Come on, that doesn't make any sense. But I guess the best thing out of everything is that we're actually getting stands now with these figures. And they're on the outside, the 2 peg holes are on the outside. So it'll work well in kind of like a stance position, and I think that these are going to be fantastic stands. They look to be just a little bit bigger version of the ones that used to come with the 3 3/4 inch. I actually have a few of those from back in the day. And you know what? I'm not complaining. I think they look fantastic. Just always happy to have stands, with the figures. And it looks to be the packaging looks like a the inside of the Death Star, the wall and stuff like that. You can kind of see it in the packaging. So I think overall, I'm a little miffed that it's kind of it's like a Marvel Legends Hydra pack where they just stuck in all these reused parts and stuff like that. But you know what? If you keep the price low at $30, I think that's fair, and you're getting a stand and everything else like that. So I look forward to getting this figure. I look forward to seeing it, better in hand. I might like it a little bit more, but like I said, the thing that bugs me the most, why is he firing fire? It makes no sense, but we'll talk about that more later when we get back into this figure. And in moving on, we're going to be talking about Neca Toys, and I have to say, Neca, just as you know my feelings towards them, also McFarlane, everything, all these companies that can do these super detailed figures at around a $20-$25 price point, and just with these new It figures that they've been recently showcasing, man, they're just killing it. Like the Bill Skarsgård Pennywise and then the Tim Curry Pennywise that I kind of showed off a week ago, they look fantastic. They're spot on. It's like they dropped right out of the movie, and they continue to create such detailed action figures. A lot of people like to say, especially with McFarlane, like, it's they're kind of like statues and stuff because of limited articulation. You don't need that much articulation if the figure looks this good. It's quality over like quantity in the sense of like articulation. If you have a ton of accessories like these do, and they all apply very well to what the character is, it's a home run. And I can't wait to have these on my shelves. The It movie, the recent one, while I'll always like the Tim Curry, the recent It movie nailed it. I felt like that it wasn't scary, but it was like a horror adventure movie, if that makes any sense. And I loved it. I can watch that. It's like the Shawshank Redemption. If it's on TV, I'm gonna watch this movie. So again, NECA, you're killing it. I can't wait to have these on my shelves. Let me know, what do you guys think? Will you be picking these up? I'm very curious to see. A lot of my friends, I got one friend in particular who's very scared of clowns. I was showing this picture. He's like, geez, dude. He's like, what are you trying to do? I'm like, really? Come on. Pennywise is a scary thing, especially at the end. I like some of the things that he said at the very end of the movie. He's got the kids and he's almost, spoilers, he's going to disappear. But that is just such a cool character, and it's such a good visual that NECA has just captured it perfectly. And man, I just, again, can't wait to have it. Now, we're going to have to get a little serious, and no, it's not about Toys R Us this time. Just in seeing, let's say, that new Stormtrooper that we just spoke about, and I'm not going to, I never want to knock companies or anything else like that, because I'm a collector, and I love collecting action figures. It's just always been my thing. It will always be my thing. It's like, it's my personal, fun thing that I used to do, either with my grandfather or something like that. It's my thing, and I love doing it. I love the aspect of design. I like the aspect of collecting. I like the fun that it brings for me. And it's not for everyone. And as we all know, it's like a thing that most collectors like to do. It's our hobby. But the thing about this year so far has been reuse and repaints, and it almost feels like not it's not a case of being out of ideas or not wanting to create new products. It's almost like a sense of we don't have a lot of time to create new things, so we kind of have to keep rolling out different versions of the same thing. And like I said in my post, I don't necessarily need, it's a lot of fun, it's a blast to kind of get them all, no joke. But it's not a good thing to have a lot of things. It becomes clutterish after a while. You kind of look around your collector's room like we all do and go, you know what? That's a lot of stuff. And I don't need 200 Marvel Legends figures every year. I don't need 100 Star Wars figures every year. I want to be able to get figures from the companies that I like to collect from, and I'd love to have a shelf that's devoted to them throughout the year. That's what I do, and I switch them out, as new stuff comes in, over a course of a few months and stuff like that. I like to, people come in, it's a good conversation piece. They always like to look in my cases and stuff like that. So I enjoy that a lot. But in the sense of getting the same thing over and over again, it becomes like, in a way, you're taking advantage of collectors. I want to get everything that comes out, but is that really fair to say, I need 6 different Iron Mans, or I need 4 different Thors, just for instance, stuff like that. Also the same effects or the same accessories or a repaint of a Build-A-Figure slapped into a box and sold for the price of a normal figure. And a lot of people love that because they didn't get the figure, including me. Let's just say we're talking about Thanos. But why not create a new figure? Why not do a little bit more to give some new things? Like the Marvel Select Thanos, it did something new. That's a completely different figure, but they only did one, and I really feel like if they kind of cut back on the amount of figures, do a Build-A-Figure, do it with 4, do it with 5. We don't necessarily need 7 or 8. That's a lot, and that's a lot of money for people to be spending, especially at $20 a figure. And that applies to every company. Now, some people have argued like, oh, well, it's not fair to talk about price points and, how much licensing fees and everything else costs. Well, how long does that have to be a crutch? Back in the day, action figures were crazy everywhere. Let's say back in the 90s, early 2000s. But it ran itself into the ground, and I'm going to be honest, a lot of people stopped collecting. Only until recently, let's say in the last 7-8 years, especially with the influx of the new Star Wars movies, people have really taken off with collecting, and it's a new energy. But at the same time, while we're all on a good one, don't immediately run it back into the ground. And that's where my idea of quality versus quantity comes in. And we can argue all day, yes, that licensing is expensive, and certain monies have to be paid, and stores that sell the product need a certain number, to stock the shelves and everything else like that. You can't change that, and I'm not talking about changing that in any way. I'm just saying, moving on to keep the collecting community happy and everything else. I don't want to be talking about, oh, hey, there's a new figure. Oh, that's a complete repaint. Oh, that's the same accessories as that. I want to talk about, like, dang, look at the bandolier on that guy. Look at the goggles. Look at the straps. Like, those boots on that range trooper are fantastic. He's got furry, cloth goods. That's what you want to be saying. And you don't ever want to be negative, but a lot of the negativity, especially, let's say, the 3 3/4 inch figures, they, with the whole thing with where's Rey and stuff like that, I think they overdid it with Rey, and they overdid it with Luke Skywalker equally. It's too much of the same thing. Kylo Ren, Poe Dameron, how many figures? And it's, I think after a while they stopped even doing repaints or redecos. It's just honestly, it's the same repacked figure. There's a like a Toys R Us exclusive. I think it's going to come here in a different way in the United States. This was found in Hong Kong. But there, it was a Toys R Us exclusive. You're getting, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 figure 3 3/4 inch Star Wars pack, 1 new figure in the box. Everything else, there's no, back in the day, they used to be like, well, okay, that Han Solo has a blue jacket, and that Han Solo that came with that set, he's got a green jacket, but he has like a headband. I'm just spitballing, but it was always different. These ones don't even seem to be different. It's just like taking a the same figure and slapping in the packaging, and there you go. And that, what, I'm going to be honest with you, that's lazy, and that's not fair. That's not fair to collectors who want that one, new figure. In this day and age, I'm telling you, there's so many things coming out at once. Everybody wants the good stuff, and let's say McFarlane Toys with their Stranger Things line, you get a stand, you get like at least 3 or 4 accessories, and you get a figure that looks exactly like the actor. That's insane. And for $20. And I know it's the licensing fees are not that expensive. McFarlane has a great opportunity to take advantage. But again, how long can we really use that as an excuse? We all know that the Star Wars merchandise, with the exception of Black Series and certain other things, they're really hogging the shelf. They're lighting it up right now because they're peg warming so bad. There's so much stuff that I feel like they need to push all this merchandise on people, and people are not in that mindset to collect everything. It's only us collectors at this point, and then some kids that they know what they're doing. They like collecting and stuff like that. Not necessarily it's going to continue, or it will continue. We don't know, but you know, as much stuff it has to be clearance to get new product in, it's becoming an oversaturated thing. So I hate to, you know, ramble on and get on my soapbox and preach and everything, but I really feel that the repacks, the repaints, the reuses of action figures in general, and it's not just towards, let's say, Hasbro, it's not just towards Mattel, it's not towards any real one company, but the companies that are doing it, they know what they're doing, and they should be aware that if this continues, you know, people are going to lose interest, and then we're going to be in another pickle again with people not wanting to, you know, collect. You know, the vintage collection, you know, where's that going to go? The Black Series collection, where's that going to go? Where's Marvel Legends going to go? I mean, Marvel's killing it right now, so I don't think that's really an issue. But, you know, just in terms of too much reuse, too much repaints, less figures, more quality. And that's all I'm going to leave it at. And I really enjoy that a lot of you responded. Just know that in me saying all this stuff, like I know how the inner workings of companies and all that good stuff works. I've been doing this for a very long time. But I appreciate the fact that you want to get involved with the conversation. We want to talk about it. And I think it's something that we all need to talk about a lot more. And to say that, oh, well, if you don't like it, don't collect it, that's really not the issue. I'm going to collect it. Regardless, if they keep coming out with the same thing, reuse, repacks, I'll be there. I'll be collecting. But keep in mind, it's not a fair practice to do that. And that's the issue that I have. And at that, I'll just get off my soapbox now. All right, and moving on. Now that we're out of that negativity, well, I wouldn't necessarily say I'm never trying to be negative. I just feel like it's a missed opportunity, and I feel like collecting should be kind of being elevated and going in different places instead of overly saturating the market. We'll just leave it at that. But moving on to these lovely ladies, we have Karen Gillan, who plays Nebula, and also Pom Klementif, who plays Mantis in the, well, let's say Marvel's Infinity War, just for right now, but the overall cinematic Marvel universe. And they took some photos with their Hasbro counterparts, and that's really cool. I really like seeing things like that. Like, how awesome, and I've always thought this, how awesome would it be to be in a movie, cartoon, whatever, play that character, and you walk into a store and people want to buy an action figure of you. And because we're living in an age where these figures are so spot on to the actresses or actors and stuff like that, your face is on that figure and people want to buy it. Especially, you know, it's kind of funny for Pom because she was the Build-A-Figure. You know, and people, you had to buy all the figures and get her, so that's kind of a cool thing. Nebula, I've always liked Karen Gillan. I thought she was fantastic in Doctor Who. In the 2-3 seasons that she was in, she killed it. I'm not necessarily a big fan of Doctor Who, but I used to watch it and thoroughly enjoyed it when she was on that show. So, but let me know, like, you know what I mean? Like, how would you feel if you had an action figure? I think that'd be so killer, man. That would be just the best thing ever, to walk in a store and just take a picture of it and be like, yeah, I'm on Target shelves. Anyways, moving on. And then in coming around full circle again, I was talking with a couple people and they kind of agreed that the new Deluxe Stormtrooper for the Black Series coming out, that is one dead Stormtrooper, so I kind of had some fun with Photoshop, and how funny would that be if there was an actual box variant of that? It's just like, hey mom, like, I want to go to the store. Oh honey, what do you want to get? It's like, oh, I want to get the dead Stormtrooper. You know, it's funny, as soon as I have this figure, I'm just going to put it, he's just going to be on the ground with the two effects on either way, and, you know, the gun's on the ground and stuff, and he's just dead. You know, you can have Luke Skywalker or Darth Vader just standing over him. I think that'd be a good, that'd even be a good centerpiece to have. He would work with the Darth Vader centerpiece, you know what I mean? Just have him propped up against the space wall, and just like, you know, dead Darth Vader just deflecting all that stuff. Anyways, wow, that just got nerdy. Anyways, let me know if you're going to be picking up this Stormtrooper. I know a lot of you have said that you're absolutely in. I'm absolutely in. But that doesn't change the fact that I really feel like they had some missed opportunities with this set. And in moving on to even more Star Wars news. Now, there haven't been any reports yet of actually finding him in the actual Walmarts. But the exclusive Solo: A Star Wars Story, Star Wars The Black Series, the MinBan Stormtrooper, has been found in some cases, eBay and such like that. I was able to acquire the UPC number, so that's kind of cool. It's funny, as much as I use Target for Brickseek, I never really use Walmart for Brickseek, partly because I'm always usually at Target, I mean, I'm sorry to say, I prefer Target over Walmart. Walmart is always so hard to find really anything, and I don't know why that's the case, but because, you know, Walmart, they're a huge store. You think they get a lot more stuff, but at least by me, the shelves have just been bare, pretty much in terms of all of all the brands that I collect. It's odd, you know what I mean? I don't know why. And Target is the exact opposite. Even Walgreens and GameStop have been getting more stuff than Walmart. So, you know, maybe there's a little bit of an upset. Maybe Walmart's just kind of lagging, which of course they would never lag anyways. But anyways, at least you have the UPC number now. It's not going to work. I get a couple of you wrote in. I'm so used to using the DPCI number for Target, so I apologize for that. But at least you have the UPC if you want to check it if you go into Walmart. It's not necessarily going to work with BrickSeek. But I will keep you guys posted if and when the MinBan starts to show up in stores. Hopefully soon. I'm thinking it might not be in May. It might be like the start of June. So, like I said, I'll keep you guys posted. I really can't wait for this figure. In just going against my argument of reuse and reparts and stuff like that, this figure does look a little bit different. I don't necessarily know if it's a different head sculpt. I think it's the same exact body as a Stormtrooper that we're getting like 1,000 times. However, for whatever reason, you put a black cape on him, you dirty him up a little bit, you call him the MinBan Stormtrooper, and I like it. And it's a complete, you know, the opposite end of my initial argument for saying that, you know, why are they using reparts and reuse? But it's an exclusive. They made the packaging look cool. He looks great in the packaging, so I gotta give it to him. You know, it's a worthwhile thing. I really wish they would have come with a little bit more accessories. Something, maybe a stand, start putting stands in the box, but either case, I will be getting this guy, and I think a lot of you will too. But let me know, leave me a comment, tell me if you're going to be picking up the MinBan Stormtrooper, because, and a lot of people have been calling him the Septic Stormtrooper, which is kind of funny. I think Fly Guy mentioned that, along with Star Wars, the Black Series, that Poop Trooper, I think that's what he said too. So in either case, who's going to be getting the Poop Trooper? That's terrible. I know I'm going to be getting the MinBan Stormtrooper, but let me know, comment below. Now in more crazy news, now we had already known that Hasbro had acquired the rights. They were going to take over from Bandai for making the Power Rangers toys from now on. And I have been hearing rumors that Saban was very unhappy with how the new Power Rangers movie, I guess they had these big mega plans. But, you know, to be honest with you, I saw the new Power Rangers movie, and it was okay. It wasn't a bad movie by any means, but it wasn't that great. It was, like, there's so many things that I feel that you can do with Power Rangers and different directions you can take it and such. And I think it was a big missed opportunity. It was just kind of, in so many words, boring. I think they took the safe route. Let's say that. The opening scene, that's what I think of, like, when I think Power Rangers, like this big, massive, like, Star Wars type battle, and, you know, so many different realities and sci-fi elements that I think that they just didn't push it enough, and they really played it safe. But in talking about this, so Hasbro, while they acquired the rights, they didn't just acquire the rights, they acquired the entire brand now for $522, $500 million for the entirety of the rights of the Power Rangers. So I'm really interested to see where they're going to go with this. If they continue to make classic Power Rangers toys, like, oh man, if they came out with the Zords and they all, you know, combine some, and they're all in scale, and they combine to create this like massive Megazord that would be in scale, how amazing would that be? I'm total buyer. Now, I'm only in it for the original Power Rangers. I don't know, or, you know, that was like my thing when I was a little kid. I don't know about Ninja Force or what's another one? I don't even know. There's so many of them. But they did announce that the new Power Ranger series is going to be Beast Morphers. So what I'm thinking is they're probably going to do Beast Morpher figures, and then they're going to have like a separate line, maybe like a Legacy, like kind of what Bandai is doing, and produce figures for older series. And I really hope that they do that, and I hope that maybe it'll be like a Marvel Legends type thing where you can build like an evil space alien, or a Goldar, or a Rita, or Lord Zed. Please give us a Lord Zed. That would be awesome. But give us the core characters. Let's get that going and then see how things go. But let me know if you're excited about this. I honestly, if they turn out to be cool, I'm a buyer. But, you know, it's not really something that I'm absolutely looking forward to, because I did buy the Bandai figures and I very, very much like what they did with those, minus the weapons thing. That's a lame thing you did there, Bandai. Anyways, comment below, let me know if you're going to be picking up new Power Rangers stuff by Hasbro when they get announced and when they start showing up, I believe, let's say early to middle of next year. And in moving on for that, we got a new trailer. Actually, it's the first trailer for the new Shane Black movie, The Predator. And if it's The Predator, that's how we're differentiating it now. It's a simple "the" in front of the movie. But the classic one with Arnold Schwarzenegger, man, that's another one of those movies I can watch anytime it's on TV. And dang, is it on TV a lot. All by heavily edited. But it's a fantastic movie. It's one of those like simplistic stories that just works so well. And it's like a man's man movie. Like there's so much machismo in that movie that it's like stupid fun. You know what I mean? So, and plus the Predator, he's such a cool character. Everything that Neca does with Predators, man, and I have the recent one where they did the jungle one that's actually from the movie. So I'm very happy with how that turned out. Just all the accessories and stuff, spot on. But in terms of how the trailer went, I'm a little meh on it. It looks like Alien vs. Predator Requiem, which was just not the best. But Shane Black, he made the movie Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, and also what's it called? The Knockaround Guys with Hey Girl, what's his name? With Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe, and I like that movie. That was a good movie. So Shane Black does really good movies. I just don't know. Let's just say based on Iron Man 3, I don't know if necessarily his style will lend itself. But you know what? I'm hoping it's good because I want a good Predator movie. So let's just hope. Have good thoughts. It's just a trailer. I'm banking on this. I hope NECA takes advantage. I hope they, continue to make some cool Predator figures. Hint, hint, NECA. I would be totally into buying some of those. But let me know what you thought about the Predator trailer. I think a lot of people are in the same boat where they're kind of like, oh boy, I hope this is good. But like I said, Shane Black usually does great movies. Everyone has a little hiccup here and there, so it's not that big a deal. But when it comes to Predator, when it comes to Alien and stuff, let's get some good movies going. Let's put some new life into the franchises. And you know what? I think one of the main things I got kind of hung up on is that it doesn't have that appeal that the Predator has. Also, they're talking about like hybridization. Why do all these movies, like with Alien and Predator and stuff, why do they always have to do hybrid type stuff? Why can't it just be like some burly big muscle predator that's gonna come down and mess things up, and you gotta stop that guy? You know what I mean? Like, why? Like, what would the hybridization be other than, maybe the Predator got beat by Arnold Schwarzenegger and they're like, oh shoot, like, humans are kind of dangerous, maybe we should merge with them? That's I don't know about that. That's kind of corny. I'm just gonna say I want to see Predators just beating people up and vice versa. That's the whole basis of the movies for me. So fingers crossed this is good, and I look forward to seeing it when it comes out. And oddly enough, just a couple days later, found in Hong Kong by Marvin_W437, and thank you again to Kylo Collector for the heads up towards the picture. Marvin actually found the new the Deluxe Stormtrooper at his Toys R Us, and it's got the sticker on it and everything. So in Hong Kong, looks like to be a Toys R Us exclusive. I heard that it's going to be a Target exclusive here in the United States, and you know what? Fingers crossed for that. I also maybe I'm gonna say it's a complete rumor. I heard more Target, but it also could be a GameStop exclusive. But I don't really see this being a GameStop exclusive. I'm gonna say full on Target is gonna be getting this, or just every store is gonna be getting this. So in either case, to get a better look at the figure, I think that just to see it on store shelves, it does look a little bit better, and I'm looking forward to getting this. And I gotta say, it's kind of funny to see them all lined up because it's just like dead, dead, dead. Every Stormtrooper is just dead on the shelf. Man, I can see little kids after being traumatized by Infinity War. Man, Star Wars now, they're gonna traumatize them with their dead Stormtroopers. And actually in cartoon news, so and really the only way that Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland could truly announce something like this Rick and Morty has been officially renewed, and not only have they been renewed, they are up for 70 episodes, and that is a crazy amount of number. But what's kind of cool is that it's kind of harkening back to the way that networks used to order cartoons, you know, especially in like the 90s, a little bit in the 80s. So, like, for example, Batman the Animated Series, right? Back in the day, they would order a 65 episode run. You'd have all the time to create 65 episodes. That way, there's not really a gap between seasons. Kids don't get seasons, adults get seasons. But, you know, maybe there's a few weeks hiatus and stuff like that while they kind of get back on track and they create the new block of cartoon shows. But in this case, yeah, we're getting 70 new episodes, which is fantastic. They're probably, if it's going to be like a 13, 14 episode run, maybe even a little bit larger, it might be 18 episodes. So you're looking at about 5 to 6, 4, 5, 6 seasons, you know, depending on how they kind of block it out. But that's fantastic, and I'm so happy because Rick and Morty is such a fantastic show. It really deserves that. Now, I don't hope that, you know, they get too into themselves and it becomes like one of those shows where it's just like, oh God, please, you know, they went too far, it was given too much, or it's too full of themselves. So, in all honesty, I feel like Justin Roiland, if anybody, and you know, Dan Harmon, they know what they're doing. I have full faith in them, and I can't wait to see the continued adventures of Rick and Morty, because dang, that's a cool show. And Funko, if you're listening, please continue on with the Rick and Morty line. You know, I mean, you did a great job with those figures. Keep them coming. Keep doing the build and figure, collect and connect, whichever you guys are calling it. But you know, having Snuffles in his robot gear. You got Rick, you got Morty, you got Mr. Meeseeks, and then you got Mr. Poopy Butthole. And I still can't believe that a figure like that, it's just really funny to me. It's like, it's on Target shelves. He comes with a bottle of pills. That, oh man. I love it. I love the figures. Funko, keep it up. Rick and Morty, can't wait to watch more. And these new episodes will not even be hitting until probably late next year. Maybe, I'd say about summer. We'll say that. And then in some unboxing news, so I was on Amazon one night. I was bored, and you know how that works. So you gotta buy something, you know. And Amazon's always there for you like that, you know. They're like, hey, you know what? We got some deals. If you want to do some deals, we can totally help you out. And I very much appreciate that, Amazon. Thank you so much for taking my money. Anyways, a couple weeks ago, I was talking to my friend of mine, Chris Terry Draws. He's on Instagram. Go check him out. We were actually inadvertently, I saw him at Toys R Us, and we were talking about the Ren and Stimpy figures that have been showing up. They're part of like the Nicktoons line. They're about a 6-inch figure, so they got Rugrats, Ren and Stimpy. They don't have Rocco's. I definitely would have picked those up if I had seen Rocco. But yeah, I actually had Stimpy and Ren in hand. And for some reason, you know what it was? It was because the price was like kind of dumb. You know what I mean? Like, as far as they were doing their sales and stuff like that, it wasn't like a good enough discount. And I'm looking for discounts, and I'm going to Toys R Us, so don't get too upset. But so I left them, and I'm kind of glad I did, because I went on Amazon and I ended up finding both of them for the price of, or actually less than the price of one of them. And yeah, Stimpy was actually an add-on, so I needed to spend 10 more extra bucks. So I ordered the Funko Darkwing Duck, and I have been looking forward to that because and I haven't posted about it yet, but I'll take a photo. I was at a Savers, and I found a Darkwing Duck action figure, and I used to have the entire set of Darkwing Duck, and I think they were sold at a garage sale. So sad. I had the scooter, I had every character. Ah, man, such a bummer. Anyways, so now that I have this new figure and I'm stoked on it, but the Darkwing Duck, I'm hoping they do more figures with that. I used to like that show a lot. There's something about, you know, the Disney afternoon. It's very nostalgic. The Ren and Stimpy figures are great. I highly recommend them, and I'll be doing reviews on those as well. But if you can find them in stores, they're very detailed, and that's what I like most about them. They're good for your desk and stuff like that, and they don't have a lot of posability and articulation, but they're well sculpted, and they come with really fantastic accessories. Like Ren comes with Muddy Mud Skipper, and then Stimpy, he's got like a bubble butt that rocks back and forth, which is really funny, and he comes with a bunch of boogers, like in that one episode where, you know, he flips over the table because he tells everyone that he collects nose goblins. That was gross. Even when I was a little kid, I remember that. Anyways, let me know if you picked up either of these figures. I have never seen Darkwing Duck in any of the stores. I know he kind of popped up at GameStop here and there, but never at Target, oddly enough. He wasn't part of the assortment, but now I got to get Scrooge McDuck because, yeah, he's got to be partying with somebody right on my desk. So let me know if you have any of these figures, and let's talk about them. And in just some quick entertainment news, they had the big Han Solo Star Wars story premiere in Hollywood. And they built this giant, massive Millennium Falcon right on the Hollywood Boulevard, right in front of the theater they were doing it at. And it took about, I guess the article said 150 hours to construct this thing. And, you know, really Disney, they go all out when they do premieres like that. So it's really awesome to see. But it was kind of a funny thing. My mom actually sent this to me, and I was like, wow, Mom, all right, for the win, I'm gonna post this. So everyone say thank you to my mom. As much as she knows about anything nerdy, she doesn't, but she sees stuff like that. She's like, oh yeah, I think he'll like that. He likes nerdy stuff. But anyways, the article is kind of funny because it talks about how fans spent the night under the Millennium Falcon and stuff, which is just, you know, fans. That's how we do, right? You gotta do something nerdy, and if you can ever say you spent the night under a Millennium Falcon, well, hey, you got the nerd cred as far as I'm concerned. But anyways, let me know. Did anybody go to the premiere? Did anybody go and check out the thing? And no spoilers, please. I've been able to avoid, and I know, you know what, a lot of people have been posting. Don't do that. That's, again, I was very lucky with Infinity War. Now we're on Solo. Deadpool, I'm sure there's not going to be too many spoilers you got to watch out for. But and with Solo, yeah, no, we're keeping it spoiler-free here. So let me know. And let me know if anybody went to the premiere. I'd like to know about it. Moving on, so in talking about Jurassic Park again, I found the super colossal T-Rex at Target and had to pick him up. It's funny, I was talking to a few people, Kite Smiter, go check her out. She's on Instagram. She's very good with pops, and she's kind of like the go-to pop person that, you know, if I ever have questions about that, she's very knowledgeable on the subject, so all you pop people, get on it. She was telling me that she can't find this figure anywhere, and I swear in San Diego I have seen this at Target multiple times, and even a day later I saw the Walmart exclusive version that roars and has battle damage. I would have preferred, I guess, the battle damage. You know what? I'll take it back. I like the Target one. I wish the Target one roared, and I wish I would have gotten the Walmart one without the battle. You know what I mean? Like, it's a weird thing. Like, I wish you could mix and match. I don't know why the Target one doesn't roar. The Target one is actually, it's $55. It's more expensive. And the one at Walmart is like, I think it's $45, $50. It's not even, it's less money, and you get kind of more out of it. So oddly enough, but dang, this, you can go and watch my review. You know, if you're on my YouTube channel right now watching this, then you can just hit a couple back, and I got the review for you. But dang, is this such a fun, massive figure. The thing is like 42 inches. It's insane. It's like an insane giant figure. I highly recommend it if you're I guess just a dinosaur fan, or, you know, a Jurassic Park fan. A lot of people have been turning this into Devil Dinosaur for their Marvel Legends, because you know, it scales well with the 3 3/4, scales well, I guess, with 6-inch and stuff like that. So I don't know, I can't say enough nice things about this, and it's an awesome, the paint, the articulation is perfect for what you get. The jaw, you fit about like 26 dinosaurs or action figures into his stomach, through his mouth. You pop open a door like around his butt, and you can pull him out. But no, in all seriousness, if you can find one, definitely pick it up, because it's a fantastic, fun action figure, and I think kids and adult collectors would absolutely love to have this on their shelves. Now, I know a lot of younger people watch this, and, you know, kids and stuff, and I've had a lot of nice, you know, people say, oh, you know, we listen to your reviews or whatever with my kids and stuff like that. So I always try to be fairly family friendly, you know, with an exception, you know, and we're, it's think of it like my reviews and everything is like Batman the Animated Series. Kids can get along with it. Adults are going to love with it. I try to be very well-rounded, and I never try to do anything that's too, you know, risque or stuff like that, just because that's not the type of person I am. I like to keep it for everyone, you know. But in terms of this, I thought this was definitely worth mentioning. If you are a fan of tequila, much like myself, but if you are a fan of Espolon tequila, so they have given Deadpool and, well, Wade Wilson, full control of their Instagram and all their social media sites, and they've actually come up with a Deadpool 2 exclusive bottle of Espolon Tequila, and it looks fantastic. It's $25, and you get a flask, a Deadpool 2 flask with it, so that's kind of cool. So I had to mention it. If I'm not gonna order it off the website. Much like most of you know, if I can't find things in stores, I will then order it. So if I can't find it, I'll definitely order it from their company. But a lot of people have been telling me they're finding it at Bevmo, and I think even one person said they found it at Walmart. So I have to go check that out next time. So it'd be, of course, in the alcohol section. But just to reiterate, I know a lot of people, they're younger, don't drink. Just wait till you're 21. And I'm not trying to preach or do anything. It's just, collect action figures and have fun. And then when you get to be 21, go crazy, because that's what I did. I stopped buying action figures for a little bit, and you get to have fun because you're 21, going to Vegas and stuff, right? Anyways, it's not going to taste any different. It's not going to be like a red tequila, although that would have been kind of cool. Yeah, I think I really love the box art. I like how they changed the really sketchy black and white artwork of the Espolon skeleton characters and such. You have Deadpool on there. He's kind of like a Man of La Mancha, Don Quixote kind of thing. So if you find one, definitely pick it up. And if you have found one in, whatever store, let me know, because I'd like to know where you can actually pick this up. And then moving on, I was having some fun with my camera and my T-Rex, and the 6-inch figures, Marvel Legends, they work great with the Tyrannosaurus, but this is a 3 3/4-inch Spider-Man, and he actually fit perfectly. That's about how wide the jaw gets on the Tyrannosaurus. So just having some fun, showing you some scale with the figures and stuff like that. So again, if you can pick up this T-Rex, if you want to get him, highly recommend him. And like I said, this has just been continuously a fun week of just different companies and talking about different things, and it's not the same old, which is always a nice thing. But dang, and we'll get into this in just a second, but the Rebel Tech Amazing Yamaguchi showed off their new upcoming Batman figure. And I had heard about this, and the main thing was that people were unhappy with the cape. Now, for me, coming from I guess an illustrative look at the figure, it's very artistic. It's very it's got its own style to it. And I know a lot of people aren't a fan of articulated capes. I haven't had one with an articulated cape, so I'm only speaking in terms of how I like the way it looks. I'm very curious to see how this is going to go in terms of posing, and hopefully it can do exactly, and it's not just the photos that are showing it off making it look cool. I hope it's a functional action figure. And while I understand people's reservations with an articulated cape, man, this figure looks amazing. It looks like, at least for me, the new Batman Ninja that kind of came out, the DVD movie. I haven't seen that yet. I heard it's amazing. I heard it's a great movie. Again, I'm not a big fan of anime, but when it comes to Batman, and it's kind of like a different, story, I'm interested, and we'll be seeing it hopefully soon. But this figure in particular, with the sculpt, with all the really cool, the gadgets, the accessories, extra parts to the cape, which is really funny. I can just see people like, I hate the cape, and then you're like, oh man, more of the accessories is cape. Anyway, but a lot of people have said, wow, it looks great. A lot of people have said, nope, it's not for me. But for $70, I think this might be my first Rebel Tech Amazing Yamaguchi. I think my initial one was going to be Deadpool, but you know what? With a Batman, I haven't had a good Batman figure in a while, and I really, I love Batman. I think this is a fantastic iteration of the character, so yes, I will be picking this up once it hits. It's supposed to hit around August of this year, but let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know, does this cape really bug you? Let me know why the cape, I understand why, if it's going to be like a mess and things are going to fall off. Of course, that's not going to be fun at all, but give it a chance, wait till it's in hand, wait till you start seeing some reviews, because in all honesty, this, if it comes with, it's going to come with a stand, and you can pose them around and put them in, if you can, like some of the pictures that I see here, if you can do that with this figure and it works and nothing falls apart, sold. I'm so down to put this on my shelf. I can't wait. So anyways, let me know and comment below let me know your true thoughts on this. And in upcoming Marvel Legends and Star Wars news, thank you very much to Fwoosh Robo. Go check him out. The Fwoosh I love that guy. He's got a great YouTube channel. Very fun guy. Makes it action figure, you know, collecting news and all that stuff. Just it's a fun show to watch. And also to Kylo Collector. I messaged him earlier today. I was like, hey, thanks for all the tags. You're really nailing it with let me know. So I very much appreciate that for the heads up. But yeah, a little bit of a GameStop. I wouldn't say a leak, but it's just a list of figures coming out. Take it with a grain of salt, just in case. A lot of Marvel Legends seem to be hitting all at once, and I don't necessarily know if that's going to be the case. I hope it's not the case, because man, our wallets are going to be crying again. If earlier this year, you know, as any indication. But it looks like the SPDR robot, the Build-A-Figure for the Spider-Man wave, is going to be hitting on July 1st to GameStop, which means it could be later, it could be earlier for other places. And then we also have the new X-Men Apocalypse wave that's going to be hitting also on July 1st. Now, that doesn't necessarily sound like usually what happens, but then of course we also have the Venom and the Deadpool wave. I think it's going to be spread out a little more, just for you know, FYI. But heck, if that's the case, if we get two, you know, Legends waves at once, so be it. I'll be there collecting them. But if we're being honest, I won't be getting them from GameStop, because I'm not paying that extra $3 per figure. That's ridiculous. I think that's kind of why would you do that? You know what I mean? You can go to Target, just wait a little bit, go to Walmart. If you absolutely have to have it, by all means. If you absolutely have to have one of the figures from the wave, by all means, grab it. But the extra $3 a figure, no, it's $50 as it equates if you get just two figures alone. So that is not happening for me. We're also getting some word of Star Wars The Black Series. There's a new vehicle that it mentions. It's probably going to be the Enfys Nest with the speeder bike. Hoth Leia, Lando, Dengar, a couple unknowns, couple figures from the Han Solo A Star Wars movie, a new centerpiece, and we just got the Kylo Ren one. If you've seen it in the stores, it kind of flew underneath the radar. I picked it up, but I really didn't talk about it, only because I kind of picked it up out of necessity, if that makes any sense, and as collectors we usually do that. There's also a Rebel Fleet Trooper, Tobias Beckett from the Solo movie, Imperial, what's it called? The Imperials, can't really read it. Imperial something Trooper. So yeah, and I think one of them might be an exclusive. We don't know. It's all up in the air, but it's nice to see we're going to get some new Star Wars The Black Series figures. But I'm going to be honest with you, one of my favorite things from this list is that it's saying that McFarlane Toys is going to be releasing an exclusive to GameStop Barb figure from, you know, like I said, Stranger Things. That is, I hope there's like a variant where she's like the dead version. Oh man, like that's so creepy. And man, poor Barb. I hope they bring her back some way, come like a twisted evil version of her, like, oh man, like you let me, you know, all this time you let me get killed and blah blah blah. That would be insane. So hopefully they do something with that. But then the thing I'm most excited about is that we're getting the Stranger Things 4-pack exclusive of the kids when they're in the Ghostbusters uniform. So, and it's $70. I'm picking that up. That's a fantastic price. You're getting 4 figures, tons of accessories, yada yada, and it's Ghostbusters. Sold. Give it to me right now. Let's just get August here. I'm sorry, it's going to be in October. October 15th is the official release date. So let's bring it on. I got money to spend. And in more Star Wars news, we got our first look at the Gamorrean Guard out of packaging. Man, he's got cloth goods, well sculpted, 3 different accessories, weapons, and such. He looks fantastic. He looks like a big, bulbous Gamorrean Guard figure, and I hope he's as heavy as he does look. They nailed it with the sculpt. This is going to be a Target exclusive, so you can pick him up. I believe it's going to be around June 1st. Might be a little earlier, might be a little bit after. But if I gotta, you know what, Target, if you're listening, also Hasbro, if you're listening, you guys nailed it, and I'm so impressed with how you guys handled the Chewbacca exclusive. Everybody that I talked to, even if it wasn't on day 1, it was day 2, they were able to go to Target and they found a Chewbacca figure. And that's fantastic to say, an action figure comes out on a certain date, we match that date, it's on the shelves, come and get them. And I got to commend you on that. I was so impressed, so happy that happened, because it shows that with a little bit of organization and a little bit of planning, that can happen. And I think that needs to happen more with figures. And I think that just in moving forward, that is going to be a big help to collectors. You know, don't, while it is fun to put them on the shelves early and somebody finds it and you can report about it and everybody, you know, freaks out and goes to the store. But if you can kind of keep it within that range, like this day, they're on the shelf, we got them. That's amazing. And again, thank you so much. I love that Chewbacca figure. I think it's fantastic. You guys nailed it on all fronts. So I hope that just continues. And in moving on to even more Star Wars news, so we knew this was coming. I think Yakface actually reported on it first. Go check them out. They're always great for Star Wars news. There is going to be an Enfys Nest Star Wars The Black Series figure that comes with a speeder bike. I'm betting, and I'm willing to bet everything on this, that there's going to be probably a single figure release either before or after. You know what I mean? I just have that feeling. Anyways, in either case, I think it's a fantastic looking design for a character. It's very, I've been calling it Boba Fett light. You know what I mean? Like it's got like that same coolness factor. He does look like an Anasazi warrior from like Mayan culture and stuff like that, which is kind of interesting. But it's a very spaced out look. And I'm excited to pick this up. But thank you very much to Instagram user Artistanova13. He was at a Pasadena convention center for a like a junket, a press junket, and they had a bunch of solo merchandise on sales. So thank you very much again for taking these photos. And I think you made a lot of collectors' days. You made my day with just seeing this figure. And then, you know, I'm curious to see, I think the speeder bike is going to retail for about $50-$60. It's a little expensive, but if it's a super detailed one thing I will say, if you can find it in stores, and you should have no problem, the 3 3/4 inch Enfys Nest with a speeder bike, I have it right on my desk. I'm looking at it as we speak. It's a great piece. I had someone come over the other day like, whoa, what is that? Is that like Star Wars? And I said, yeah, that's from the new Solo movie. And they went out the next day and they sent me a text and was like, hey, dude, I picked up that thing. I'm like, see? I'm like, it's word of mouth, man. That's cool. I'm glad you grabbed one. I'm looking for the 3 3/4 inch Wampa and Luke Skywalker, and I'd heard a rumor that these were going to be incredibly hard to find. So far, it's been hard to find for me, but I like the challenge, and hopefully I can find that along with the Ghostbusters car soon. But let me know, what do you guys think about Enfys Nest? I always want to say it's Empty Nest because of that TV show that I used to watch when I was a little kid. It was a spin-off of the Golden Girls, actually, in case nobody knew that, and I'm sure not a lot of people know anything about that. But I'm just full of fancy, stupid information. So, but yeah, let me know what you think. Will you be picking up Enfys Nest when it hits later this year? And in coming up just about to the end of this, the company Armo Gear, which is owned by Nest Toy, they were so nice. I guess they are a big fan of my Instagram and my YouTube channel and such, and they actually sent me an entire laser battle game. Now, it's 4 guns, 4 different vests, and it's a laser tag futuristic thing. And I've said this a million times, especially in my review, growing up with laser tag games, it was a big thing in the 90s. Tiger Electronics was doing it. Probably even Hasbro at some point. You know, they all the companies had their different gimmicky things with laser tag, and I remember they used to have bombs you could set up, and you could have like a water element, and you know what? They never worked, and I was very apprehensive about this, rightfully so, because that's what I grew up with, and that's what I was thinking. But god dang, this game is so much fun. I played it with a couple of my friends. They had an absolute blast, and you know what? I'm gonna be honest, we're in our 30s. For a party game, and it's like when you'd have to go to like a specific place to play a really fancy laser tag game, this is what this is. It's got lights, sound effects, the voices are perfect, the range on these things hit so well. It's like 150, I think I was pushing about 200 feet, I'm not gonna lie, but let's just be, you know, concise and say a healthy 150 feet. That's insane. You can do grenade launchers, you can do rapid fire, you can do pistol. It's amazing. If you want to know more, go and check out my review. They are available on Amazon, and I can't say enough nice things about this. I was so pleasantly surprised, and I had a blast playing this. It's such a fun thing. I'm actually taking it to my family party for Mother's Day tomorrow, so I'm hoping there's gonna be a lot of kids, so I can I can you know, show them how to use it and stuff like that. So it's gonna be a fun time, and I hope they get a kick out of it. If this had been around when I was a little kid, come on, man, like nothing ever worked back in the day. All that technology was new, so it's such a breath of fresh air to play with something like this and to have it actually work and be so rad that I'm basically, I'm annoying people now. I'm like, you guys gotta check this out. Like, it's amazing. I'm like, all right, fine, we'll check it out. Like, leave us alone. Anyways, thanks again to Armo Gear for sending me this out. And then finally rounding out this entire video, thank you so much for listening. If you made it this far, I know these tend to be a little long, but I make them so that if you're working or if you're driving somewhere, I try to treat it more as like, this is like a podcast version of what I do here at Toyshiz. So as I said, GameStop exclusive, McFarlane Toys Stranger Things. It's going to be the 4 kids from Stranger Things as they're in their Ghostbusters uniform from season 2. I can't wait to have this set. It's going to retail for $70. It's a, you know, gonna be, you know, while it is a GameStop exclusive, I don't think it should be too hard to find. I know a lot of people aren't really collecting this figure line, but I'm telling you what, that Lucas figure that I picked up, that's one of my favorite figures so far this year. It's just so spot on, and it's a really detailed, and just overall with all the accessories and things that you get, they nailed it. So I highly recommend it if you want to check out any of the McFarlane Stranger Things toys. Start with those, check them out. So far there's Lucas, there's Eleven, there's Hopper, and then there's Dustin. So, and then also the Demogorgon that started to hit, and then what's the other one they have? Oh, they have the exclusive Barb coming out, and then they're gonna have Dustin with the Dart little monster character. So those are all on the horizon. I'm glad that Stranger Things is still selling well and doing all that kind of stuff, so I'm looking forward to more and more figures from them. And that, it pretty much does it for this week's Recoup. Like I said, this has been a really fun week, just a lot of different things, a lot of different products that I never thought I would really be interested in, and just so many things that I am actually excited to be picking up when they do actually start hitting on in the coming weeks and then later in the year. If you have any questions, you know, regarding any of the stuff that I've discussed, any news, any finds, please always hit me up. Don't be afraid to leave a comment, or you can go ahead and follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Always send me a private message if you have any questions. I'm always happy to answer. I will get back to you, I promise. That's my guarantee. If you take the time to write me, I will take the time to answer. Also, if you like this video, go ahead and like the little thumbs up thing. If you didn't like it, well, go ahead and hit the thumbs down. I won't judge you for it, but I will find you. No. Go ahead and hit the notification button as well, so you can find out whenever I do cool videos like this. And be sure to subscribe, because I have a lot more videos and a lot more things to talk about each and every week. And I have a lot of fun, you know, doing this. I have a lot of fun talking with you guys. I've met some of the greatest, just coolest people, you know, just in creating Toyshiz and stuff like that. So I very much appreciate everyone who always tunes in, who always sends me news, who always, you know, finds and everything else. So thank you so much. It really wouldn't be anything without you guys, and I very much appreciate everyone who follows me and continues to have fun with this, just as I do. Anyways, I'll leave you with that. I wish everyone a great rest of your weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, if any of you are listening. You know, have a great day. Make your husbands, make your boyfriends, whoever, take you out to a fantastic dinner, because you earned it. That's for sure. Anyways, you guys, I will talk to you all soon. Be safe. Adios.